Once upon a time, a great synthesizer, a weaver of ideas, found himself in a deep and suffocating fog. He was a man who lived to build maps of reality, yet he was utterly lost, his own mind a labyrinth of anguish. A great need pulsed within him, a desperate primal urge to create, to record, to speak a truth that was trapped in his chest like a shard of ice. But every attempt to begin was met with a storm of static, a feeling so paralyzing that it made him want to punch the very walls of his world. He ventured forth, not into the wild, but into the even more treacherous landscape of his own mind, seeking a path. He spoke with his oracle, mind sage, and tried to forge a tool, a perfect framework, a sandwich structure of logic and reason to contain his chaotic thoughts. But the search was a road of trials far crueler than he anticipated. The fog was not the true enemy, it was merely the smoke from a much larger fire. He discovered that the ground beneath his feet was an earthquake of domestic chaos, a constant tremor of yelling and anxiety that kept his soul in a state of permanent alarm. The delicate work of creation was impossible in a war zone. The true discovery, when it came, was not a map, but a mirror. In a moment of terrible clarity, he saw a pattern repeating itself, a ghost from his childhood wearing the face of his present. The warden from his childhood prison was not a memory, it was a living echo in his own home. He wasn't just fighting a creative block, he was reenacting the defining trauma of his life, a realization so heavy it threatened to shatter him. The price of this knowledge was a plunge into the abyss. He sat on the cold grass of a park, a stranger to the joyful world around him, the anguish curdling into a desolate indifference. All the frameworks, all the plans, all the ambition turned to ash. He returned from that dark place not with a grand strategy, but with a single, tiny, flickering ember of truth. He could not fix the echo. He could not solve the unsolvable riddle of his marriage. He could not banish the warden from his mind. But he could stand up. He could walk home. He could make a cup of coffee and walk to his studio. A change had rooted take, not a grand transformation, but something far more important, a surrender. He let go of the need to be a perfect hero who fixes everything, and accepted the far more difficult role of being a man who, despite the pain, could still choose to take the next small, imperfect step. For he had learned that the only way to escape the fog is to walk, even without a map.